And ladies and gentlemen, it is game number 3 of Resin versus BONKZ. 1-1, winner moves on, losers down to the losers brackets. For Resin, we've got Daring, Kleb, Stalingrad, Salem, Napoli, Minnow, Salem, Ohio, and Krem. For the side of BONKZ, we got Heru, Gearing, Salem, Moskva, Salem, Brisbane, Montana, and Montana. Interesting, we're gonna watch. So double Montana is interesting to bring. No Ohios, no Kremlins, no St. Vincent's. I mean, it's interesting to see the choices of Montana and how that's been affected and made their other choices. I'd love to know, was the Moskva Brisbane choices made first and that influenced the battleship, or was it we want to bring Montana's and so therefore we can bring these other ships? I would suspect that the Brisbane was anticipated first, but that's just me. Anyway, for the side of Resin, Daring heading straight into B, Kleb heading towards C, Gearing, Salem, Montana, Harugamo for the side of BONKZ heading to A, and then a very interesting split here. So this is a very aggressive split, and I'm all for this. Harugamo following the Brisbane up. You can smoke that. You got to watch out for Stalingrad radar here. You got to watch out for the Stalingrad radar. You can see the Stalingrad radar line right there. But this is a absolutely blazing push from the side of BONKZ. They spot the Brisbane. Instant smoke. They radar. They spot Mad Dog. Shots out from the Stalin. Brisbane going to slam the brakes, turn in. He dodges the first set, and now he's going to start the turn out. He does miss all the shots. And he takes a chunk down to 34,000. But Mad Dog spotted. Looks like no damage quite yet onto him. He's going to get himself back there. And now the Brisbane's going to move forward. And they spot the Kleber of Frice. Frice is down to 21,000. So they get almost 5k off of him. They get almost 5k off of him. The Brisbane gets through. He has to use a heal. His radar is not up, but that does force Resin off a C. And now the Gearing of Todd Howard getting into A. He's under Minnow radar, but the Minnow doesn't have an angle on him, so that means he's in an okay spot. So we're just watching this, and you can see this push at A. There's really not much happening right now. Radar from Payton the Rockhider will spot the Harugamo and the Salem, but that's easy enough to dodge back in. Moskva radar, that's an aggressive Moskva position. I'm all for it. It's going to spot Mad Dog. Mad Dog, they're not putting any shells out on him yet. Harugamo down to 27.6, but it's not a big hit. Salem shots are in on him. They get 3k. And so now, damage starting to go in on Payton the Rockhider. Nice chunk down to 55k. Stalingrad with a survivability expert. And the blind fire in, they're trying to find The Harugumo taking B. But C is taken, and now the side of BONKZ will also get B, which means they are now up 2-0 caps. And it's a Salem versus a Minnow is the only thing going on right now here in A. So the Minnow starts the backup here. The Salem and Minnow are just going to play Island Camp there. And watch for this Montana gearing push along the edge. Other than that, I mean, it's still a very cautious game, but you got to watch as these points build. The more these points build up, the harder it is for Resin to come back. Now, they are getting this push down the edge. The Kleber, Napoli, Salem, all on the move down the edge, going in towards C. Torps are going to miss the Kremlin. And it's really just, it's so quiet right now. I mean, you can see the plays being start to set up, and we'll take a look over here as the gearing's getting focused now. Gearing's going to take a little bit of damage from the Minnow. He's going to dodge on the edge of the map and use that to try to avoid as much damage as possible. Still under radar for another 17 seconds, though, so that's kind of a brutal spot to be. They do force the Minnow back with those Torps. He's yo-yoing really nicely. Like, the fact that he's only taken 6k damage, basically, for as long as he was under spotting is big. Shots in on the Minnow. 16k off him, and now the Montana is going to push forward, and this is where they're going to start to try to spam out this Minnow. But other than that, I mean, right now, the only thing is really this push right here. This push right here. And this points lead is almost up to 200 now. So you watch this, Minnow. Montana should have shots ready here in a second. Ripple fire down to 28k. Second salvo misses. Third salvo down to 12k. Does he get the fourth and final gun? America's spending a lot of health, but he's getting a lot of value out of it. There's the fourth and final gun. Citadels here are big. Another Citadel gets him down to 7k, and this heal is only going to get him up to about 13k, so he should be dead on this next salvo. You can see him turning, trying to get the Torp angle and to dodge. Here come shots, down to 9k, down to 4,600. Montana really getting smashed here, but they know that getting this Minotaur out is critical, even if you lose a ship for it, because it just frees up everything. Oh, 640 health. That feels brutal. America, he needs to get one more shot off. He does get one more off. They're going to trade him out. Not the greatest trade ever. That if you're the side of Resin, you're really loving that. If you're the side of Bonks, you do dislike that, but not as much as you necessarily would, because that just gave you free reign of A. And that means that you can start to pull your ships out. Oh, and especially when you do that to the Stalingrad, slap him for 23k, and his heal's only going to take him up to 12.4. Shots in again. They don't hit. Now, that does allow you to get out of C, because now your points lead is up to 300. You're just going to run. You're going to try to keep your Brisbane alive here, because your Brisbane's in a world of hurt right now. But you have all the caps for the moment. And they actually force Mad Dog back with this Harugumo double push here in mid. And so now it's 300 plus points. Health is almost even. And so these shots they're getting back, even though they spent an entire Montana to push that Minnow out, and there's the Brisbane going down. Health is just 10k different. And that Stalingrad's trapped. He moves out of there. He dies. C will be taken. There's no way they can prevent the capping of C here. Let's make that clear first off. Kremlin liable to take the Torp. Looks like he'll just dodge it. And so, as we said, you know, here's C-Cap being taken. But even with that, all it does is slow it down to 4.5 minutes until the side of BONKZ wins right now. The other thing to keep an eye on is this Montana. This Montana is getting run down slowly but surely, but it's going to take a while. And the Stalingrad uses his last heal to get himself up to about 25,000. Actually gets himself up to 26,000, even better for them. So as we look at this map, advantages for BONKZ. You've got points, you're doing decent, you're balancing on health. Disadvantages, you're down a ship, and they do have a push gang ready. For the side of Resin, the problem is you got to move that push into the strong point here at B that's being built, and your Salem and Stalingrad are both liable to go down. Shuk getting shot by Elgar the Smoke Hider, but the problem is, look at that gearing in Salem. They're not even in the detection yet. And every second they're outside the detection and not spotted is another second they get closer to making that Salem just absolutely regret life choices. And then look at this ability to farm the Kremlin. They have no radar ready. They have no radar that can find him except for maybe the Stalingrad. And the Stalingrad's not in position to do anything with it. Kremlin down to 40k. I mean, there's the radar, and the radar isn't even going to find him right now. So it's a double brutalness.
The enemy's victory.
Dyer just sitting there unashamedly farming out. He sees the Kleber, switches shells over, gets some little bit of chip damage off him, and now he just will switch over to either the Kremlin or the Daring. And the Kremlin down to 30k. Resin is at very big danger of going into loser's bracket right now. Now, the hope here becomes that the Salem can smash Admiral Tester right up the backside and get him out of there, because the longer he lives, the bigger problem it is for them. And Fryspot now, he goes forward on the charge. He's gonna die, ladies and gentlemen. He beaches, tries to save himself, but it doesn't matter. He is gone, ladies and gentlemen. And now with that, it's almost 900 points for the side of BONKZ. Salem will finish off Admiral Tester here. That'll buy them a little bit of time as we watch this kill come in. But still, down 400 points, 4 minutes to loss. You need kills and you need them now. And now your Stalingrad is sitting broadside to a Salem. Breathe a sigh of relief that you don't lose him there. But your Salem of Elgar the Smoke Hider about to get torped. He's gone. The Kremlin goes down. And that's 2 quick kills. And now it's just 70 points separating BONKZ from winner's bracket quarterfinals. 6,900 health left on that Daring. And ladies and gentlemen, I think BONKZ has got it at this point. I think BONKZ has got it. The Ohio and Montana, I mean, the Montana is still at 49k, 40k even with that chunk. But you're just running out of time and you have no access to A. You lose a single ship, it's over. Oh, you do get the Harugumo. That's a big kill from Mad Dog. Buys just a bit of time. Now he's going to try to get Dyer. If he can get a 2-for-1 here, because he will die at some point. If you get a 2-for-1 here, this is absolutely clutch. And Mad Dog does get it. It buys them more time. It suddenly... Oh, but the Salem finds him. It buys them more time, but now nothing's contesting B, and Eagle Lance has to charge forward. Oh, but that has bought them time on Kermit's Seppuku. What a series. The Torp in. Torp gets him down to 1,800. He goes down, and ladies and gentlemen, it's now just 3 ships for the side of BONKZ, and they're going to desperately try to stay alive. Fratstar looking for the kill on the Stalingrad. Stalingrad knows where he is. Fratstar is pushing hard. And the Chukwamu is going to get shots in on him. Salem firing, and Salem fires a lot quicker. But he's not getting the hits right now. The hits are, like, the shots are there, but they're just not damaging. Stalingrad doesn't have a heal. He needs to get off one more salvo. He will not, ladies and gentlemen. And that brings it back to 40 seconds.
Our time runs short.
Until the side of BONKZ wins. And now Eagle Lance is finally getting into B. But all it does is buy them 25 seconds of time. And BONKZ is just going to hide the Salem of Eagle Lance. He doesn't have radar for another 37 seconds. He's going to take the cap, but the problem is he's not going to be able to get a ship to shoot. None of their ships are going to come out and be spotted. What a series, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my, oh my. This one did not disappoint. And this is going to put Resin versus Epoxy in loser's bracket for the ability to continue on in the tournament, ladies and gentlemen. And there it is. The side of Bonks finishes the game. They take the series 2-1, and they are moving on to the quarterfinals.